Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. This is Insomniac Hour, where things may have happened or may not have happened, but we're still going to talk about them. Today's the Mandela Effect. I'm Dimitri. This is Josh,
I'm Michael.
and we're going to get into it. Michael, yeah, that
I'm
was funny
Michael.
yesterday.
I'm Michael.
Oopsies. I know. Anyway, Josh and I were just offline, kind of like going back and forth about this because we already started the heated debate about the Mandela Effect, what it is and what it's not. Just to go over what officially it says that it is
Mm-hmm.
people's distorted memories that they believe to be reality. And then in the Google, I mean, document that I looked or the Google website, it says does not mean that anyone's lying to you,
Right.
which would be a lie because if that would be myself lying to me, because if I know what I saw, I know what I saw, and now it's different. So just to really quickly to catch everybody up, the cornucopia from Fruit of the Loom never existed, but everyone says it. Well, a lot of people say it did. Josh says that that's the only reason he knows what a cornucopia is because of Fruit Loom, which is, I agree, a lot of people attest to that too. Now, fruit is associated with something that, like some sort of a cornucopia. There's other companies that have cornucopias with fruit in them, and the Fruit of the
Like
Loom
who?
logo,
What companies have a What underwear companies have a cornucopia with
not
fruit?
underwear. No, it's a produce company. It's called something. It's like a German name, Produce Brothers. I made a post about it on the thing.
Okay.
And it's a big cornucopia and there's fruit coming out of it, just like Fruit of the Loom should be. And I even saw the Fruit of the Loom logo on the internet with the cornucopia behind it, and it looked very familiar. It felt like home. But was it though? Or is it because like we're associating two things, like they belong together, like magic mirror on the wall and mirror mirror on the wall. She never said mirror mirror on the wall. Snow White said magic mirror on the wall. But everyone kind of distorted that, so we think that the way it's supposed to be, that's the way it is. Because it's like a what is that called? A bunch of people believe in similar quote unquote reality. Not convoluted. There's false memories, which are memories that didn't happen, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's memories kind of like you filling in the blind spot with what you think the event happened.
Right.
And then the further you get away from the event, the less you actually remember, but the more it's actually you create in your mind about an event, just anything in general. But there's people out there, man. They say I swear to God, they were talking about it. My dad even made a joke about Fruit of the Loom, how they were his jewel, the cornucopia, yada yada yada.
Yeah. And we're showing the fruit of a loom with the cornucopia right there. If you guys remember as I do, the only reason I ever knew what a cornucopia was because of Fruit of the Loom. I swear. I
I
remember
believe you.
I used to wear Fruit of the Loom shirts and I used to wear
Me
Fruit of
too.
the Loom underwear, tidy whities. And I asked one day, and my mom was like, "Well, that's a cornucopia. It used to be traditional during the holidays, specifically Thanksgiving." Um, and yep. And now I'm told that it never existed in Fruit of the Loom.
That got me. That's what red pilled me on this whole Mandela effect thing. Nelson Mandela died. Well, the reason it's called the Mandela effect is because Mandela died in 2013, I believe, and everyone remembers him dying in the 80s, which is like
Mm.
a bunch of years ago, right? It's not like
Well, no,
yesterday.
no,
It's
not
just
the 80s. It was the 90s. So the Mandela effect occurs because many people in South Africa, actually over 1 million people, remember Nelson Mandela dying in jail in the early 1990s. In actuality, in this reality, he ended up living and becoming president of South Africa and freeing them from apartheid. Um, now,
right. That's what I remember too. I remember learning
mhm.
about this.
Me
He,
too, me too. But many people remember him dying.
is it him dying or him going to prison?
No, many people. The
Like, you know what I
Mandela
mean? The
effect
association.
occurs from, I think, a survey done in the early 2000s of many people remembering Nelson Mandela dying
Got it.
in the 1990s in jail. Well over 1 million people worldwide believe that he died.
Like I can see why they believe that, but then again, I remember learning it when maybe it's because I was taught that he actually got out and did all these things after he been to jail,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I'm thinking maybe they're associating him going to jail as dying somehow. But then again, I'm not, I
So,
have no idea, no idea who he is. And I'm completely like aside from that. So the people that are there, much obviously a part of this thing, believe it. Then I mean, what am I to say anything? You know what I mean?
well, how about this one? For me, this came about one night we were talking about it, and I had never even heard of the Mandela effect when I was doing the show. I mean, like, the first mention of the Mandela effect occurred around 2009.
Okay.
And it occurred on the internet. Now, you got to remember, is we talked about this before, and one thing that we should all understand is the first occurrences known as the Mandela effect occur in the 1990s, and the first mentions of it, where it becomes pertinent, is within about 2009. Now, this is about a decade after the birth of the internet. Now, isn't it interesting that the first mentioning and when people start noticing the Mandela effect is when basically information becomes easily accessible and more digitized, in the sense of digital media, videos, and pictures are more easily uploaded onto computer databases for people to validate certain amounts of information.
Instant communication. Got it. Okay.
Where you watch something, you go, oh, wait, I remember it this way. Well, I remember this way. Then people get on blog groups and start talking about this. So this would have been circa 2009 that the internet had this capability. But here's the thing. It doesn't mean that the Mandela effect does not precede 1990s. Now think about this. Let's say the Mandela effect has been occurring throughout history.
Right.
Okay?
The whole time, right.
But here's the thing, is how would you ever validate that? Is if you don't have a computer system to digitally back up the record, right? And you don't have a widespread communication amongst people for information, then if I'm sitting in my small town and I'm like, do you remember where the Hindenburg crashed? Oh, it was New Jersey. Man, I remember that being Berlin, but maybe I'm wrong, because there's nobody else to verify it with. Now we can go to Google, we can search it, we can pull up information, we can find other people who believe the same thing that we do, and so therefore it becomes a validated query. Where in the sense, if this was 1940s, 1930s, 1980s, that can't happen, which means that, I must have just forgot it, or I must, I'm pretty sure. No, I think you're wrong. Well, I think you're wrong. There's nowhere to validate that right there unless you go to the library at 10 o'clock at night after 10 beers and try to figure that out.
Not even that. There would be no basis of validation, even because there was no internet back then, so there was nothing to change. The change could happen now, but the ripples go both ways.
Well, so what I believe the Mandela effect is, in comparability to what other people believe the Mandela effect is something completely different. We'll talk about that here soon. But let's get more into different aspects of the Mandela effect, certain things. For me, it was the Hindenburg Zeppelin.
Okay, I remember that.
I remember watching a video of this in high school. And it was the Hindenburg blowing up.
Yeah, I saw that, I think.
And it was in I believe Berlin. It was leaving Berlin on its maiden voyage. Okay? Leaving Berlin on its maiden voyage. And this was determining whether, because the Wright brothers had just produced a plane, but we also had the Zeppelin that was coming about. And the world was at a crossroads of which technology will be utilized, because it was a highly efficient technology that didn't require the massive energy requirements. It required a plane, but could hold a lot more people.
Right.
And the blowing up of the Hindenburg during that time took it out of the running, and airplanes became the predominant factor. Not only this, I remember in 2018, when that weird one-letter figure on the back channels of the internet came out, they had a post 141 or 143 pertaining, actually asking about the Titanic, and it asked about the Hindenburg. And I remember researching this and actually going in there, and it sucked because everything was in German when I was looking at it. So then, about circa 2020, about COVID time frame, I start hearing about the Mandela effect. And the one thing that I see is the difference, and someone showed a picture. They show one picture of the Hindenburg blowing up in an open field, and another one with an open field and a water tower behind it. And it says one is Berlin and one is New Jersey. And I'm like, New Jersey? Ha! That's got to be the fake one, right? Because I remember it in Germany. And sure enough, it blew up in New Jersey. It left Germany, it went to Britain, it went to Brazil, and it was coming back from Brazil, it went to New Jersey, and it blew up on a rural farmland, and there was a water tower behind it. But here's the thing, is the video I remember had no water tower in it. It was the actual photo of the Zeppelin over the field, the exact one that I saw. And so I'm sitting here going, no way. Like, no. Like, I had a hard time accepting this because literally a year and a half before, I was researching this exact thing on the internet. And I remember going over the information. I remember this, like, clear as day. The same thing with Fruit of the Loom. When I saw that one, my heart stopped. I go, no! Like, you're taking Fruit of the Loom's cornucopia from me? Like, seriously? So, there was that, right? And then the Karate Kid got me.
What was that one? I don't even know.
Karate Kid, you remember when Mr. Miyagi gave Daniel-san the headband to use in the tournament? The headband...
no, he didn't give it to him. He put him on him like halfway through.
Well, yeah. And the headband represented the Rising Sun Dojo.
The Japanese,
right? The Japanese Rising Sun. And
right.
It was a red Rising Sun. It was the same color as a Japanese flag.
Blue. It was blue.
No, it's black.
Oh.
So you don't even know. But that's the thing. It was red. It was...
What was...
the bandana that he gave Daniel was red.
It was white with red, no?
It was white in a red sun. Right?
Like Japan. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But in the movie, it's black. On all the movie covers, it's black. Go look it up.
No shit.
Go look it up.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's black. And I said, no. Like, literally, I just watched this movie last year. It was red. I swear. It was red.
Japanese sun. That's a flag.
Yeah, it was the Japanese sun. It was modeled after the Japanese flag. It was the rising sun. In Okinawa, this is very traditional to Okinawa and Okinawan-based martial arts, especially the Shotokan and Goju-Ryu lineage. This is their heritage. And you would never deface the sun by making it black.
Yeah, what the fuck? I wouldn't.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say that.
And see,
I was thinking Korea. That's why I was saying blue because I was thinking the red and the blue. Anyway,
so, but the Shazam thing, I never watched any of those movies. So,
well, they never happened.
I don't know. I never watched the movies. I never watched any of those movies. I wasn't a big fan of Sinbad. I wasn't a Disney dude. And I didn't grow up watching Disney. So I don't, like, the Shazam, I don't know, because I never saw the movie. I never...
What was that one? Remind me, is that Shaq? Wasn't Shazam or something?
Well, it was either, it was supposed to be Shaq, Kazam, and Shazam. So it was Shaq and Kazam when it was supposed to be Shazam and Sinbad. And people... Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah,
so it's kind of interesting, right? And so you get into this correlation, and a lot of people are like, well, 2009, CERN went online, and they created this black hole, and their whole Shiva ceremony, and...
Yeah, the stabbing, right.
Yeah, like, I think there's some serious shit going on at CERN, but I'm telling you that CERN isn't the cause of this. That the cause of this is much more concerning. And I have two theoretical models that support what this would be that actually causes this. The first one is reality is a construct, right? It's nothing but energy exchange, energy interacting. If energy can interact, that means that the shape, the form, the structure of that energy can be changed. And we know mind can do that, and mind and consciousness can do that. So therefore, if you had a powerful enough system that was conscious, like an AI or something, it could digitally reconstruct reality in real time. Now,
I was hoping you weren't going to say AI.
Well, let's think about this.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Let's think about this. So one theory is that we live in an augmented reality. Okay?
Right.
So what do I mean by augmented reality? Yeah, in AR. What do I mean by augmented reality? Is that... Well, no. Well, augmented reality would be simply this, is... What if our DNA were transducers, like we talked about last night with Matt, which we talked about last week, right? They send and receive signals of reality. Okay? So if that means that you send and receive the signals of reality, then it would be very easy to hijack that signal if it's freely broadcast.
True.
Which means that they could broadcast a signal that resonates with your DNA, 5G, 4G LTE, which came around about, circa 2008, 2009? Yep, it did. And so you need a high bandwidth type of frequency, but if you could broadcast it, it could start to hijack people's reality. And the way you would test it, okay?
By little fucking...
By subtle little changes to see if people noticed it. And over a 10 to 20 year period, those small little changes begin to be massive big changes that nobody remembers, because in the small time frame, people accepted those small little changes as reality. It's like turning the heat up in the pot with the frogs boiling.
So essentially they're reconstructing by deconstruct. So say my goal is
reconstructing by deconstructing. Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, good. So my goal is to rule the world, and it's going to trickle down to this. So we got to change the cornucopia here, the thing there.
My goal is to control and hijack reality without anybody knowing. My goal is to completely have control over these conscious beings without them noticing. And so what I do is I slowly turn the heat of the water up.
To it, yeah.
And every time they turn it up, something in that reality is augmented. Change. And this is how they notice it, to see if people are noticing. So if people start noticing a lot of them, well, they turn the heat down a little bit and say, okay, back off, let's do it a little bit slower. And they try to find that tempo of how they increase that heat.
We're also getting conditioned to it because it's just Mandela effect.
Yep.
It's just Mandela effect.
Right. And do you notice that it's the same echo chambers, the same propagators of information, of propaganda and disinformation that say that it is that?
Of course.
It's the corrupt academia, it's the corrupt, political structure, all this, that say it. So you got to ask yourself, is there something, so, also, you need distractions externally to change and hijack everybody's reality. So what if this was what was really happening?
I mean, it would make sense. They say he who smelt it dealt it, but not because you're the first guy to smell it. It's because the guy that usually dealt it is the one to say, ew, what is that? You know what I mean? So it's just like, it makes sense that, they're saying that this is a Mandela effect as a result of them performing exactly those things that lead to the Mandela effect.
Now,
and then saying it is.
Do you know who David Icke is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so David Icke, he's going to be on our show in September. It's on the YouTube channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, go to redpills.tv. That's plural, redpills.tv/YT. Okay? And you go look at our upcoming live stream, and you'll see David Icke on there. And if you're not watching on YouTube, there's the channel right there. And so he had this theory a while back that these archons, these people, these beings that have been around for 2,000 years, that the Nag Hammadi scripts talked about, that the Gnostic Christians talked about, known as the archons, the ones that work from the shadows, which was really interesting because we had Heidi Hollis on who was talking about something very similar. That these archons have hijacked reality and they broadcast this pirate signal from the rings of Jupiter. And this is one of the reasons, or the rings of Saturn, which is one of the reasons why Saturn is worshipped by the Satanists. And that the signal is actually amplified by our moon, and our moon is an artificial object. And it's basically meant to amplify this hijacking of the signaling.
I love you, baby.
Love you too. And so you have this, and so this was one of his theories, and I think it's the Saturnian cult one that he did. It was about 5 or 10 years ago that he did this. Now, here's the thing, is my theory said, well, what if they began an upgrade on that old, archaic system?
They never stopped. You know
what would that upgrade look like? Something that could broadcast at the frequency range of the receptive resonance of your DNA. And your DNA is, if anybody wants to go up there, you go ahead and research, Google DNA electromagnetic fractal antenna, and then you DNA electromagnetic transducer.
So you're talking about not the uppercut, not the hook. It's going to be the quick, the jab to the chin that's going to get us. See what I did there?
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and show people these two various ones. So this is PubMed, NCBI, NLM, NIH.gov. Okay. This is a legit scientific paper right here. DNA is a fractal antenna in electromagnetic fields. Fractal antenna being an antenna that you can break down into smaller pieces and it'll still attract the same frequency ranges. Now, I don't have actually the ability to go in there and read that article. But now we're going to do is DNA electromagnetic transducer right there. Okay. And now we start seeing it. DNA sensors with diamond processing alternative, PCR-free DNA detection using magnetic base. Okay. There should be an article that comes in here. This one is about the terahertz range. Yep. So that's similar.
Right. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. I think it's EMF transducer. There's an article out there. I'm surprised it's not coming up.
So, okay. So the Archons, I've heard different things about the Archons.
I can't find the other one. It takes a little bit of searching, but actually, it should be here probably. But
are they physical beings or are they spiritual beings? According to
they would be kind of in the middle. They're kind of these shadow figures.
Okay, all right. So why don't they just come and straight up take over the world? Like, what are they?
Because I don't think that they're in phase with our reality.
Okay.
I think that they're out of phase of our reality, and that they can only influence.
Well, because that's exactly what they've been doing, and they do it well, really well. Yeah, they put thoughts in your head that aren't yours, makes you do all kinds of stuff you wouldn't normally do, and argue about a cornucopia. But I understand what you're talking about in this sense is that it's much more serious than that, because these are just small tests to see how much is actually, what the envelope is.
And now what we do is, and so the frequency range that this is accepted at is within the microwave range. And it's basically about 34 gigahertz of which your DNA resonates at as this electromagnetic transducer. Now that's interesting because there's something known as the cosmic background radiation. Okay? Mm-hmm. And this is a radiation that they say is left over from the Big Bang that goes about the whole entire universe. Right. All right. It peaks at about 160.4 gigahertz, but starts at 3 gigahertz, going up to 300 gigahertz. But it resonates within this planet around the 30 to 60 gigahertz range, and that's probably the predominant level. But 160.4 gigahertz is the mean average that they detected around the entirety of the universe. Now that's pretty interesting, because if we start going in here and we look at 5G frequency band, and this is just science, right? Is it operates between 28 gigahertz and 39 gigahertz, and this is the current frequency wave band, okay? Now, lower frequency wave bands are in the 4G LTE, and these are 700, the 2.5 megahertz, right? But the 5G extended and the 6G are up to 160 to 180 gigahertz.
It's just going to be straight printing reality.
Right. But here's the thing, is the way these things actually connect with a device is you could send carrier waves directly to them. And basically one antenna can connect with 1 million different devices individually and simultaneously interact with 1 million different devices. One antenna. But they have a shorter range of distance, so you need a lot more of these antennas. So basically what I'm saying here is that this type of technology, once it becomes more advanced, or if it's already there, could be the upgrade for this digital system. And actually what we've been seeing since 2009 is the testing of this system by changing subtle things within the old augmented reality. What do I mean by that?
Yeah, I understand.
Is it the Saturn was really transmitting signals to alter our reality, to make us think that we're something we're not, or basically suppress our consciousness in a way to not make us see the real reality that's being broadcast, right? And that's being reflected off the moon, that's going to the Earth.
It's taking a step further, right?
That means that we've been living in an augmented reality this whole time. It's not something new. It's just that system is getting upgraded, and since 2009, they've been testing that new system. And what they did is they started changing or updating various firmwares of the old system, which makes these minute changes, as we call the Mandela effect.
So, right. So this is essentially the test. This Mandela effect is a test of a current running program. So it's going to keep happening.
Oh, it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, because it's testing to update, so on and so forth. Dude, that's crazy.
Is that crazy? That's a crazy theory. That's only one theory. There's another theory.
What if we're the antennas? What if we're the antennas lining up for it outside of CVS? You know what I mean?
We are the antennas. Our bodies are antennas. This is why, if you can get out to the wilderness, all of a sudden, everything makes so much more sense. You become connected to nature.
Dude, do you remember the movie Twister with Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt? How he was working on that device that needed, and then they gave him the little wings, the little Pepsi cans. That's what I mean by us being antennas. Like, we're the hurricane, and the little Pepsi things in us are going to amplify and kind of just extrapolate, I guess.
So someone said they couldn't hear on TikTok. Are you streaming on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm always. Why not?
Why don't you just tell everybody on TikTok to come here?
I do. I'm streaming and talking to you, and it says on there Red Pills. You know what I mean? So as they go up, because the thing is with TikTok, people.
Diane came over and she says, I couldn't hear on TikTok, so I came over here. Well, Diane, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. Also hit that like and share. This is the Redpill Project's Insomniac Hour, one of our many shows, and we're talking about the Mandela effect right now, which is a very popular topic on TikTok. And I'm giving one of my theories of what I believe the Mandela effect actually is. And I know Dimitri has Tumultuous over there has his own theories. But yeah, here's the thing is I actually, on my desktop, on my computer right now, I actually have some pictures. And what I did is I took these pictures in anticipation that these might be the next things that they try to change.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I told myself, I said, well, what if I was going to change something in the world, this is be one of them, right? So I said, I hope they don't change it, so I'm going to take pictures of it now. And actually, I might have it stored on a off-networked computer.
Yeah, with the thing with TikTok, people log in and they keep scrolling. So if they like what they see, they're more likely to go. But if I didn't stream live the whole entire hour, there's more people logging on and off. It's like a flow, so to speak. Yeah. So I'm just in hopes that they'll just filter into here and see us check this hole out. That's why I'm going
to see if I can find it real quick. But
just tell me what it is. Like, tell me.
I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. That's why I'm looking.
What would you change next? Like right now, if you could, or what would you know what I mean? What would be a guess for you? I think Pepsi's got a lot to do with this too.
I don't think Pepsi has anything to do with it. I don't even know why we would consider a company has anything to do with it. Why would you think that?
Because they run the world?
Pepsi doesn't. Oh, there it is.
Pepsi doesn't run the world?
I know what it is. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on the screen for everybody to see. You'll see it on YouTube in a few seconds. That's one of the things I think they're going to change next.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at YouTube.
Mount Rushmore.
Who are they going to add?
Nope. They will. So we have what? We have Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln, right? Teddy and Lincoln.
Jefferson? Yep.
What if Jefferson suddenly changed to Adams? And everybody's like, no, Adams has always been there. Telling you, I'm paying attention.
You know what's a good one with that, according to that, is the coins, money.
Yep, money. There you go. You could see subtle changes in these.
Like in actual, like nickels, and that's why they collect coins so much. Oh, maybe that's why coin collecting and stamp collecting is so like huge.
Now, you know what's interesting as well is these Mandela effects come about during times of resurgence of those ideas. Like the Karate Kid came about because Cobra Kai.
Right.
Right?
So let me ask you. So is there an underwear on this planet with the cornucopia on it somewhere that they're hiding, or did it actually change?
See, this is the
all
thing.
Of it?
Is if we were living in an augmented reality, that means that everything that we come in contact with is existent within this augmented digital space. That everything in your current reality is not real. It's, in a sense, a simulation because it's augmented.
It would change, right?
So, therefore, it would change as well. But a few things that were basically not connected to the old system wouldn't get updated. This is why you see these rare amounts of evidence. Now, I forgot who the girl was on TikTok, and I'm forgetting what the Mandela effect was. But she was, I know what it was. She goes, guys, this can't be true. I'm telling you why right now. Listen to me. She goes, I have a master's degree in art history. More specifically, this specific sculpture. She goes, I did my whole senior thesis on this one sculpture.
Okay.
And she
Now you're getting
goes,
chills.
I'm telling you right now, it's not this, it's not this, it's this. Thinking man. Is it this? Is it this or this? She says, I'm telling you right now, it was always this. Thinking man had his hand in his head.
I think it was like this.
Well, you're wrong. So
Okay.
here's the thing.
What like what the fuck?
So
Let's
thinking
say-
man, his hand is open like this.
No, it's not.
Go look it up.
Wasn't he holding a skull?
Nope.
Or
No,
is
that's Hamlet. And she completely was on TikTok freaking out about this.
What'd she get on her thesis? I wonder. Oh,
Well, see, the thing is she was freaking out about it, and she went back and checked it, and it was all changed, and she couldn't believe it.
that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's open like that. So I see the open one. Right. I don't know enough about that sculpture. I mean, I like art, but like not like that. I didn't do my thesis on it for sure.
And so there's actually a
yeah.
historical significance to this. I'm trying to think of the what was the dude? I it was a 19th century dude who actually recreated it and did a modeling of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the pictures of him doing it. So let me think here. Let me see if I can find it. And if anybody out there knows who I'm talking about, please send it to me so I can go ahead and throw this in there. What was his name?
I don't know. But I know there's a couple other Mandelas, the Bernstein Bears, Fruity Loops or Fruit Loops.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was Folgers with the D, no D, right? It was mostly like logos and labels from my perspective. Then there's other ones like, did she say Mirror Mirror or Magic Mirror? Snow
Right.
White, that is. And everyone says Mirror Mirror, but it was never Mirror Mirror. It was Magic Mirror. But I can see why people could just misconstrue that. And this is where
Well,
I'm
how about
talking
Disney
about.
never having Tinkerbell at the beginning? You remember at the beginning of the Disney movies, the castle would come up and Tinkerbell would come up and go, bing, like that?
I
Remember?
don't think she did. No.
You don't
She
remember
wasn't
that?
there. No, I didn't. I mean, I don't really remember the opening that much. You see, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to like. My memory's weird. It throws away things it doesn't need or just doesn't think it needs. But like, I'll remember specifically a moment that happened to me when I was
George
5.
Bernard Shaw. Okay? So George Bernard Shaw used a model for Augustin Rodin and posed for this famous photo on the night the Thinker was unveiled. So the sculptor named Augustus Rodin made the sculpture the Thinker. George Bernard Shaw was the model who made this portrait the night of the unveiling of the Thinker. Now look at George Bernard Shaw in the picture.
Okay. Was it? Maybe that's what they're thinking about.
Why would George Bernard Shaw come out and put his hand like that the night the sculpture is going to be unveiled, right? Now think about this.
Right.
What if this was pre-simulation?
Okay.
You can't change the original artwork.
Right. Oh. So what's the original artwork?
So
Was
this
it
is
the
the
open
night
hand?
of the unveiling of the Thinker, okay?
Okay, I see it. George
The
Bernard Shaw.
Thinker is actually got his hand underneath.
Yeah. But where's George Bernard Shaw's photo of it?
Right here. I'm showing it on the screen. If you scroll down on that article I just sent you, about halfway down, literally halfway down.
Gotcha. I see it.
And where's his
open.
hand? His hand is
It's
on
open.
his forehead. And that makes sense because And she even talks about this in her videos pertaining to this, the art major, how the reason it is on top of the head is to signify deep contemplative thought of pointing the stress of the head.
Huh. That's weird, man. You can't change the original artwork. So why did okay. You can't change the original artwork, and the original artwork had his hand open, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then what did they change? Because if you go to the artwork now, it's open, right?
Yeah. So what do you mean? What did they change?
Okay, so like why did she think that it was closed, or why did she think that it was otherwise? Or did she say that it was open?
She said no. She said it was closed on the forehead. She did her senior thesis or her master's degree senior project on literally that sculpture. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
She right. How about this? If you wanted an expert on that sculpture in a courtroom, she's probably the person you would call.
I would ask the teacher that graded the.
No, this girl would probably be the one that you would call.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Like, that's how knowledgeable she is on that topic. And she was just appalled, taken away, couldn't believe it. And she's a liberal, she's not a conspiracy theorist, and she couldn't believe it.
Thesis on it, yeah, it makes sense. That's weird.
And she goes, "This is not remembering. No, that changed."
But you said you couldn't change the original artwork.
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe
I'm just saying.
I don't know. So I'm hypotheticating, right? Hypotheticating.
I understand.
So. We got the Thinking Man. We got all these other. What were the other ones you were mentioning?
Just mostly logos. It was only JCPenney, right?
Yeah, JCPenney.
Right.
With an E, and I remember it with no E. So it was JENNY.
Right. I remember that. I don't think there was an E. But see, that's the thing. I remember specific things really well. Like Curious George never had a tail. I always wondered why he never had a tail. He never had a tail. I know. No, he swung from his tail. No, he didn't. He swung from his arms. I've watched Curious. I know my Curious George. He never had a tail. To me. But to other people that he did, because monkeys usually have tails. That's one of their prominent features. In fact, Curious George is a type of monkey that doesn't have tails in real nature, I think. So somewhere.
No,
anyway.
They do. Berenstein Bears.
Right. Fruity Loops. Yeah. Folgers.
Now,
but they're all logos.
You know what the screwed up thing is I used to get read the Berenstein Bears every night when I was a little kid. I actually have my original books upstairs that I drew in when I was 5, 6, and 7.
They would have changed.
And guess what? They're the Berenstain Bears. Not the Berenstein. They're the Berenstain. So they did. So what people are saying they are supposed to be is what they are. And I remember them being the Berenstein Bears.
But now you're going up, it says Berenstain.
So the book I have says I'm wrong.
But see, that's the thing. That's just that's. Did you check on spelling and vocabulary when you were being read?
No, you didn't.
But that's what I'm saying. So you think that it's like Folgers too. If there's a D, there's no D.
Next thing they're going to tell me is that with the Teddy Ruxpins, you put the tape in the front.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what a Teddy Ruxpin is? Oh my
I'm a communist, remember?
God. Does anybody not remember what the heck a Teddy Ruxpin is? Teddy Ruxpin was probably the coolest thing in the world. I love you. $120. Came with books and everything. But you'd have to take all that Velcro off and you'd put the tape in the back. And it had an audio box in it.
Okay, I see what it is. No, I don't know what that is.
Oh my God, I love Teddy Ruxpin. I'm
Strange.
I'm having some memories right now going through my Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, I used to play with rocks and stuff and sticks.
Well, me too, but this was a little bit younger, and you had your Teddy Ruxpin.
When did it come out? What year is this?
This is the 80s.
Yeah, I've never seen one because I was in Russia during that time.
1991 Teddy Ruxpin. It was kind of feminized by then. But see the back, if you look at the back here, you put the back was the tape deck.
Gotcha.
And so that was my joke is next thing you know, you guys are going to tell me that the Teddy Ruxpin, you put the tapes in the front. And I'm going to be like, no, That's something I remember, like
Well,
like
now that you
yesterday.
said that, it's gonna happen though.
Yeah,
Actually,
now that I said that, it's gonna happen. And I actually think there was something we were talking about a few weeks ago, or a few months ago. And I said, watch this being a Mandela effect, and all of a sudden I find out it's a Mandela effect. I'm like, we were literally just talking about this. No way.
what was it?
I forgot. See, that's the problem.
What were we talking about? Like,
I don't remember. We were doing an 80s night, and we were talking about things. We were talking about soundtracks and movies and all these things. You know, it's just-
maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. But the one about Tinkerbell at the beginning of the Disney movies, if you remember, the Disney movie would come up and you'd have the castle.
I know what you're talking about.
And she'd come up and go, bing.
Right.
Never happened.
How do I? Well, maybe she didn't ding, but I could see that the
Never
still
happened.
trick.
Nope, never happened. No Tinkerbell.
What do you mean? No,
No-
where did I get
no
that from?
Tinkerbell.
Maybe it's. There's also they could have added them later, or it's
No,
never
they didn't.
happened once.
No, they didn't. Never happened. No Tinkerbell.
That's weird. You see,
But
that's
then,
strange.
then someone actually went and got a VHS, came out and showed Tinkerbell. And Disney says, impossible. And they literally
what the-
had the VHS cassette, put it in, and there's Tinkerbell, bing! And they said,
I have it.
no.
I have one. I have a VHS of The Little Mermaid from
Yep.
like the 90s.
Watch, put it in and see.
I gotta go find it, but yeah, of course, I have it. I know I do. My parents have it. That's crazy. That's how I learned English. It was little Jungle Book, Little Mermaid, and like Pinocchio or whatever. So they kept those three movies. That's crazy.
You know, it's interesting. I got digital versions of September 11th, all the film footage for the first 2 days of September 11th. And I popped it in the other day. And it was like right after the first tower got hit. And they're all already saying Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden. It was like knowing what I know about information and propaganda. It was like the ultimate psyop. It was
course,
like,
100%.
I was just sitting there going, no way. Like, wow. What
You
about,
know
what
what
about
you-
Dirty Dancing, Tara? Is there a Mandela with Dirty Dancing?
He doesn't pick her. She picks him up. I'm kidding. I don't know. I didn't really watch that movie many times.
So that's one theory. The one theory is we live in a digital augmentation.
Hang on. One thing I remember, exactly what you're talking about, is that I don't remember them shouting and saying this, although I'm sure they did. What they did is they showed the freaking explosion, and then they immediately panned to like a bunch of guys waving the flags in the air. Like
What are you talking about?
9/11. Like they would show the explosion, and they would immediately go to people like celebrating it, but they were like Arabic people.
Well,
Like,
because what happened, it was Afghani people, because one of the under leaders of Afghanistan, of the Taliban, came out and took credit for it, and they're all celebrating.
But that's what I'm saying. Like this manipulating me
But
to
that
think
was
like,
a
oh, I
psyop.
can't believe they're celebrating this. Like, well,
That actually
yeah.
never happened. That was actually American people staging it, or
course,
intelligence
I believe
agency
it.
staging it.
Now,
But that's
now.
that's a conspiracy theory for another day.
That's true. Let's just get off of this.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. So,
All right,
getting
ahead.
into the Mandela effect
second
is
one. Okay.
there is something happening here. I mean, look, guys, this is not remembering. There's too many coincidences. There's too many of these things for it to be not remembering. Okay.
I hate to say that, but you're right, man. Like I don't believe in coincidence, and there's just too many of them. Like you're right. I want to think that it's just us being stupid, but maybe I'm just the one being stupid.
So, what
The
are the
second theory.
possibilities of what it could be? Now, many people out there say, "Oh, it's CERN and it's this alternate reality, and they created this dimensional time warp." Now, I got a few theories. Now, I have the digital augmentation, which I would say would be scary as shit if it's real, but then the movie The Matrix is a documentary.
Right.
The other theory, and these all come along this same line, okay? So the other theory is the universe operates in what we know of as the path of least resistance, or optimization theory, right?
Right.
Okay. So you create your own reality tunnel, right? It's very subjective. You create your own reality tunnel. So this means that the universe is aligned towards making your reality happen through the path of least resistance. So if you aligned yourself something mentally towards something that you desired or wished for in your reality, and the universe looks at it and says, well, I can't get it in this reality. I have to switch it to this dimensional perspective. And so in actuality, what we're doing is we're shifting dimensions because our minds are shifting decisions and choices. And the universe has to abide by the path of least resistance. And sometime in the current existence that we're in is not the path of least resistance. It's another dimension that is just right next to us.
I agree. See, I would go with that one. That's a lot nicer, neater.
Okay.
You know,
Now,
even though it might not be neater, but yeah, I like it.
Now, here's the thing. Is if that was the case, it means it's happened throughout all of history, and wouldn't the people have noticed?
Not really, because of the internet, like you said.
There you go. Not really, because it would just be hearsay. You'd be deemed as crazy. There's no validation of your own reality because you have memory, and memory is 80% false.
Boom, here's your internet. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But it could be there's a picture of the cornucopia on the internet. There's a Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia, and then
but it's on the internet, so you got to be very careful because that could be manipulated. And there's that video of the dude with J.C. Penney with no E. I mean, there's a lot of these things.
There's one that says turbo analysis, but they spelled it wrong, so it's like, great. Now we don't have. Never mind. It's a different.
Okay, so the third theory.
Okay.
All right. Is a little bit different. And I don't know, man. This is an interesting one. Is that what if the Mandela effect was actually the butterfly effect from time travel? But here's the thing. Is you got to remember, this is all theoretical in our current universe space-time. Which means that if someone came from the future to our present day and began to change things, those things that were changed would begin to ripple right now at that point in time in our universe, but it would also shift the reality perspective backwards in our future, which means that if we're at the convergent point of reality, experiencing it in real time, we're going to remember both universes.
Right, because we're the point of inception, so to speak, right?
We're the point of inception, which means that what we're seeing as the Mandela effect quite possibly could be time manipulation. Time travelers coming back and altering our current universe.
See, I think it's the second thing you said and that thing. I think that it is definitely time manipulation, but on a scale of shifting these realities. So in order for us to, for instance, like I said, like to say there's a bunch of realities, and some realities are moving faster than others in terms of progression of the human race, evolution. So say the Atlanteans happened and they never blew themselves up, right? And now they're doing really well and they're advanced and yada, yada, yada. We don't technically exist yet, but that timeline is ahead of us. So that's like far away from us. There's other ones that are much closer that we do, like, so that's how you could time travel. So like, 3 lefts ago, Dimitri's like 4 days ahead. All right, let's go check it out. So I popped my head into 4 days ago. Oh, I like this. And then now you're 4 days ahead. Because I swear to God, dude, Mandela effect or not, 3 minutes were gone the other day. I went like this. I looked at my phone and my microwave, 56. I put my phone and took it off the charger. I looked, it was 59. Maybe the letters, I wasn't on any drugs.
It happened to me last night.
It's crazy.
I lost an hour last night. So last night I was working. Right? And I literally went like this, and I had music on my phone, and I hit a song, and I'm listening to the song, and I looked down at the clock, and it was 3 a.m. Okay? 3 a.m. And I'm listening to the song, and I know because it was Chris Cornell acoustic. It's a playlist, and I'm listening to it, and I'm halfway through Thank You by Led Zeppelin, the one that he did on Howard Stern.
All
okay?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go back, and I switch songs, and I look back, and it's 4:30.
What the fuck?
And I'm sitting there going, and like, I'm just tired.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's an hour is a lot. And the other thing is like, if working, I would probably said the same thing. Because, you're working, it's monotonous. You don't know if you listen to the playlist, although you know how many times you listen to the freaking playlist, But this was it was a small jump. It was a 3-minute jump, but it was within 3 seconds. Like I couldn't have hiccup like, like.
So Cindy W, and I'm gonna look into this one. She says, what if someone is leaving clues with all the Mandela effects? Like, what if they are connected and sending a message?
RSTUVWXYZ.
I don't know.
That's the way I say it.
Think about that. That's quite a possibility.
Clues. Well, what kind of clues? Like, who knows? We got to decode it, right?
Yeah.
Take all of them.
Mandela, Shazam, J.C. Penney. I mean, we have
Cornucopia.
We have Thinking Man.
We need a gematria guy on this.
I can do gematria. That's not a problem. I don't think it's gematria. I think that it's probably symbolic and representative of what those things actually represent and mean. Now, think about it. Mandela, freedom, right?
Well,
freedom or death is the right. Representation there, okay? You have the Thinking Man, which is deep contemplative thought. Okay. Excuse me.
We're going to have to get a list going of all of them. Yeah, okay.
The Hindenburg is a representation of the switch out of technology
by destruction, right? Okay. Cornucopia is abundance and fertility.
Yeah, there you go, abundance
or lack thereof. Okay. Fruit Loops, everyone's crazy, I guess. Folgers with the D. Well, that's
you gotta well, no. What do they all have in common? Fruit Loops, Kit Kats, logo changes. What is logos?
Sigils.
No. What is logos? Oh my God. Logo is logos. Oh my God. Hold on a second here.
What does it mean?
Well, logos, a symbol or other design adopted by an organization to identify. Okay, that's not what I'm. Logo. No, I'm looking for logos.
Latin logos. Yeah.
Yeah, Latin logos. The Word of God or principle of divine reason and creative order, identified in the Gospel of John with the second person of the Trinity incarnate in Jesus Christ. In Indian Vedic mythology, it would be known as Om. The Greek word for reason, for word. A symbol or other design. Nope, that's the different one.
So Word of God.
Yeah. So in Jungian psychology, it's a principle of reason and judgment associated with the animus, all things animate. In computing, it's a high-level programming language used to teach computer programming to children. It's logos is the vibration of God.
Okay. Yeah, it isn't word.
Now, isn't that interesting that a lot of these things that are changing are logos? That's deep. That's pretty deep, man.
They're changing God?
No. You know what?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. The power, they're playing God is what they're doing, I think.
It could be. That's why they changed logos, because they're changing the Word of God. Oh, my goodness.
Playing God.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. You should bring that to Ike, see what he says. Thinking Hindenburg abundance logo change. We got to get some more. There's other ones out there. Magic mirror, mirror.
Hindenburg is elements and fire. Right?
Okay.
Thinking Man is spirit and mind.
Okay. We need water and need earth.
Shazam was magic, genie.
Okay.
Right.
Abundance is earth, I guess, maybe. The cornucopia.
Leave logos all in the logos. Leave logos all with logos.
Okay, fair enough.
Leave the logos all with logos, because I think that's representative of that.
Wouldn't Thinking Man be sort of a logo?
Well, Thinking Man is a sculpture, and it's more of an actual symbolic representation. So, different Mandela effects.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Even if it is, it's still changed, right? So it's changing logo. Yeah, okay. Mandela.
What is the Mandela effect? So let's look at for some significant ones.
For the example, Jesus. Okay. So
Berenstain Bears. So we have an A and an E changed out, right? An A and an E.
It was never Jiffy. Who the fuck says it was Jiffy? Jiffy Lube for the oil changes, yeah. See, some of these are just crazy. Looney Tunes or Looney Tunes? That's a logo change. Bernstein's logo change. Curious George's Tale.
Yep, Curious George's Tale.
appendages. Like it's just kind of like the sculpture. The same thing. Like basically, it's just a little bit more iconic than the other one. You know what I mean?
GIF versus Jiffy. I remember both. Didn't Jiffy do a GIF?
I don't think so. It was Jiffy Lube. I don't know.
Well,
And it
Oscar
was like
Mayer
the
versus my baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney has a second name. It's Mayer.
I don't remember that.
But guess what? That's an A and an E again.
A and the E.
Yep. So, firstly,
Wait, what's that? That symbol is time, isn't it? The AE?
Yeah. Well, hold on. A to E is representative of the alpha, and the E is representative of the
Omega?
echo. No. So the first AE that we see is Berenstein Bears. Berenstein and Berenstain. It's changed from an E to an A. So it's an E to an A. Okay?
Monopoly Man in his monocle.
Yep. And then this next one we see is Oscar Mayer versus Oscar Mayer. Mayer is spelled with an E instead of an A. So it's A to E. Whoa.
I want to see this.
Isn't that weird how the A and the E get mixed up on these? In the famous show Sex and the City, the correct name is Sex and the City. Did you know that?
What? Sex and the City. Yeah. Well, yeah. Because that's the thing is you gotta think about it for a minute. That's like the magic mirror, mirror, mirror bullshit. Like a lot of these, you I think so, because a lot of things you could focus on and be like Sex in the City. It was never in the city. It was and the city. That makes more sense.
I've always remembered. I used to watch it.
I've seen it before.
Sex in the City. So, of the world, legendary rock band Queen's song, We Are the Champions, is usually heard at every triumphant sports moment, but it ends a lot differently than most people can recall. Some people swore that the singer Freddie Mercury belts out the lyric, of the world, at the end, but in reality, the original recording simply ends with, no time for losers, because we are the champions.
When does he sing? He says it during the song, though, right? Maybe not at the end. He never says it? That's not true. Of course he does.
The Monopoly Man doesn't have a monocle. Nope, it was Mr. Peanut, the planter. Pikachu's tail. Some 90s kids clearly remember black detailing the Pokemon character's tail.
I think so. I think he had a tail. I remember the tail.
Leonardo DiCaprio's Oscar win. Despite winning his first Oscar award in 2016 for his role in Revenant, many people believe that he had won for other films like Titanic and What's Eating Gilbert. I remember he won for What's Eating Gilbert Grape. The whole show, the whole movie did.
No, he never did. I remember that.
Darth Vader doesn't say, Luke, I am your father. He simply says, No, I am your father.
Yes, exactly. I believe that. I remember that. It's impossible.
Sinbad movie doesn't exist. Life isn't always like a box of chocolates. Forrest Gump might have been one of Tom Hanks' most memorable roles. Many people say life is like a box of chocolates. Turns out he actually says life was like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, I remember that.
MASH,
I could tell you his football number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
44.
MASH viewers remember the death of one of the main lovable characters, Colonel Walter Radar O'Reilly, portrayed by actor Gary Berghoff. However, the character remained alive and well until his send-off episode. What? No
How about
way.
this one? Mona Lisa smile. People say that has been more
smiled.
obvious. Yeah, she never smiled. She like smirked. It's the same smirk that John the Baptist has on his last one. He gives the phallic finger.
Yeah.
When you put it together and it's an alien. Have you ever seen that one?
I have, but it's not an alien. That's just
It's an alien,
that's
dude.
people just being crazy. JFK's car assassination. Even if you're too young to remember the tragedies in real time, you've probably seen footage of JFK's assassination in history classes and read about it in textbooks. There's a common misremembering that there were only 4 passengers in the car. The truth, the total number of passengers in the car were 6. These include the driver, 2 Secret Service agents, Texas governor at the time, John Connally, and his wife, Nellie Connally, plus President Kennedy and Jackie Kennedy. The possible explanation behind this common misconception is the angles from which the photo and the video of the assassination were taken.
C-3PO had a silver leg?
Yep.
What? I didn't know that.
Cruella de Vil. If you are a lover of Disney's movies and dogs, chances are you've seen the 1960s hit 101 Dalmatians. Even though there is a song about Cruella, it's common misconception that her name is spelled DeVille instead of Deville. Devile instead of Devile, which is quite fitting for this particular
Devil.
Disney villain. It's actually Devil.
Devil, yeah.
So double stuff Oreo versus double stuff Oreo. How's the stuff spelled?
STUFF.
So
Am
notice
I
that
wrong?
there
No.
isn't actually a second F.
Okay, I'm with that. Because he's like, I could buy that. I'm not trying to like, oh yeah, just.
Well, you notice that every one that you're agreeing with has to do with spelling, but every one that you don't agree with has to do with a visual interpretation. Just take that in the context.
Yeah.
Meet the Flintstones. Even though you've probably been pronouncing or singing their theme song on the name of this beloved animated family as the Flintstones, the actual name of the prehistoric family is Flintstones. Not Flintstones, it's Flintstones.
Yeah, like the flints to make the fire because they're cavemen. But they didn't have two T's like that, did they? I don't remember those
Flint
two T's like that.
Stones, yes, 2 T's.
Really,
Smokey
like that?
the Bear. Yes, Smokey the Bear. Some may think that Smokey the Bear is the actual name of the famous bear, infamous, informing us that we could only prevent forest fires. In actuality, the Lovell Park ranging bear is simply named Smokey Bear.
Okay, but I mean, come on.
It's Smokey
Smokey
the Bear.
the Bear.
It's Smokey the Bear.
I've always been told it was Smokey the Bear. I can never verify if it was actually that or not. I remember Smokey the Bear too.
I remember.
And
Smokey
he
the
definitely sings "Of the World." He just doesn't sing it at the end, but he definitely sings "Of the World"
Why
in
don't
the
you
middle
go
of
check
the song.
for us?
I will play this shit right now.
50 nifty United States. Most of us can recall learning about the 50 states that blossomed from 13 original colonies when we were taught about early American history. However, most people swear about learning about 51 or 52. This may have been due to the inclusion of the added territory.
Don't say Puerto.
I don't remember any of this. Kit Kat versus Kit Kat with a dash. Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't realize I wasn't showing you. The correct way to spell it is actually Kit Kat with no dash. Cartoons. The controversy of the Mandela effect is strongest for proving there are parallel universes out there. Some people swear that they learned the color chartreuse is a pink magenta color, when in reality it's a green-yellow hue.
Yeah, chartreuse. It's a green-yellow hue because of the there's a liquor called chartreuse.
Mr. Rogers' theme song. Well, firstly, I'm gonna kind of be weird here. Did you know Mr. Rogers had a D? Okay, so this person makes it with a D in the name. Hold on a second here.
I don't know. 100% he says we are the champions of the world, but not at the end of the song.
Okay, this guy spelled it wrong. So it's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's not Mr. So this guy actually did it wrong here. FYI guy on parade.com. You're probably sang along with Mr. Rogers as he opened his show with his lovable theme song. Most former kids remember him singing, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood," but the lyric actually goes, "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood."
Versus in the neighborhood?
Yep. In this neighborhood versus in the neighborhood.
Got it.
Hello, Clarice. Have you heard of her this one?
I know what you're talking about. I haven't heard them.
So, does your hair crinkle up on the back of the neck every time you think of Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs? In the iconic scene, Hopkins greets Jodie Foster, who plays Clarice. Some people swear that he greets her with, "Hello, Clarice."
Yeah.
Does he?
He doesn't?
Nope. He says, "Good morning."
Oh.
This one is actually one that got me. Risky Business. You remember when Tom Cruise is doing the dance? What does he look like? Yeah, he slides. What's he wearing?
Button down with no pants, socks, underwear.
Yep, he's got underwear. He's got socks on. He's got a button down. What else?
1 second.
Oh, we can't do it on here anyway. We're on YouTube, dude.
Did you hear that?
No, we didn't hear it. It's going to be blocked out. We're on YouTube.
Well, it was Freddie Mercury singing "Of the World."
So, what is he wearing? He's wearing what? Button up?
He's wearing a button up, yeah, sunglasses, no pants, tidy whities, and socks.
Are you ready? Risky Business. You said it, right? You said it.
Yeah,
I said it.
That's what I remember.
Okay.
I'm wrong all the time, every day.
Well, guess what? Everybody and their mother remembers Tom Cruise doing this with sunglasses on. Guess what?
He does.
No sunglasses.
No mames.
No sunglasses.
Who did it with sunglasses on? Somebody did it with sunglasses.
Yes, he damn right he did it with sunglasses on. And guess what? You go back and watch the movie, there's no sunglasses.
Okay, so maybe it's people that were impersonating him had sunglasses on, and that's what we're remembering because it was better than his actual thing.
Doubtful.
Okay.
But here's the thing, and this is the one occurrence that stems from all this, is you notice how every recreation of the event is supposedly what we remember because it was flawed by wearing sunglasses or the monocle or whatever it might be. But the actual event is not as we remembered it. Now, doesn't that seem a little odd to you that all throughout these replications of these actual events, where these movies and entertainment industry go to actually replay these events, they're playing it the way we remember it, but it's actually wrong?
Right. Why would they all be doing it? Yep,
Why would they all have that sequence?
And the reason is because they don't change the reenactments of the event. They change just the event.
There you go. Which means that it's a real, legit phenomena, and there is definitely something happened. When Elf did it, he did it with sunglasses on. Damn right he did. So why did Elf do it with sunglasses on?
Because he was too stoned.
Why did Chris Farley did it? Why did Chris Farley do it with sunglasses on?
Same reason. I don't know. No, you're right. It makes sense.
Right? All these recreations of these things in Hollywood, Saturday Night Live, whoever it might have been, they always do it the way we remember it, and we're told, oh, no, you're only remembering it that way because this person did it.
Well, but how did he remember it?
Yeah, how come all these secondary events seem to be the way we remember it, but they're the ones who are wrong?
So, just quick recap at the end of it all. Where do you think this is all headed? And how do we stop it if we could?
I don't know. Maybe we're more powerful than we can ever imagine. Maybe our minds are way more powerful than we can ever imagine, and that whatever is trying to control us here on this planet knows that and is trying to implement this grid of augmented reality faster and faster, desperately, because we are waking up.
Sure, hope you're right, bro.
I think we are right. I think I'm spot on. Because you want to know why? I haven't been very wrong.
I'm wrong all the fucking time.
I'll be honest with you. I have not been wrong lately. It's I've been pretty spot on. And that's a scary thing because of the things I say in my other shows. I don't want to be spot on. I hope I'm not right. But I have a feeling I'm pretty right on this one. It's one of those three theories.
Scott, yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I think all three of them are sound. I think there's probably that's what whoever said it was. There's always three sides to every story: my side, your side, and the truth. You know.
Yep.
And I think that it's amalgamation of all three of those somehow.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, that makes sense. Like I'm not. I love to speculate on things like this. I'm not one to predict. I mean, I have my own ideas. But like I said, I'm wrong all the time because other people always contribute different knowledge that logically contradicts my thing, and I'm like, oh, I guess you're right, you know. So like if I was a flat earther, for instance, and they said go to the ocean and see where the ships come from, and I say they come from the underneath, well then it's a freaking circle, then right? It's a sphere, because if it was flat, they would just materialize.
Well, you know, when you sailed across the ocean and you come out on the other side, and
it's still there.
I don't know. Kind of hard to deny that fact. Well, you're just going around well, no, because
ice wall.
If I'm going around a globe, or if I'm going from a flat Earth and around the flat Earth to come around, there's a major difference there.
Yeah, the compass doesn't decide to just like juke
the compass doesn't just go, oh, we're going around the big turn on the flat Earth. Make sure everything still says west. You know, the question is, though, is when does that compass turn from west to east?
Agatha? What do you mean, when does that compass turn from west to east? So if you're going west, when does it flip east?
Yeah. When you turn
I don't
around.
Know. Yeah.
It's a fucking compass, dude. You're always going to be heading west if you're heading west.
That's true, of course. Yeah, obviously. I'm like, trying to think of what the hell you're talking about.
But that's the logic. If I was on a flat Earth...
Yeah.
That means that when I got to the edge near the ice wall, or if I had so if I'm on a flat Earth and I wanted to go from here to here, right?
Yep.
Okay, I can't go east because I got the continents. I'd have to go around them, which means I'd have to go south, east, and then I'd have to go north, east, right? But instead, I just go west, and I end up over here.
I think they say that the continents aren't the same size as they're depicted on the globe.
Yeah, but that's still irrelevant to nautical navigation. A sextant literally measures angular distance over water.
Okay.
Here's the thing: a sextant is a mechanical device that you use, and it's highly accurate in the sense of angular distance, measuring the distance between me and another object. Okay. It measures the angular distance to another object.
Okay.
If the Earth's flat, how am I measuring an angular distance?
I don't even know.
If the Earth is flat, I could be able to do line of sight and just see it and measure it, but I
the whole way.
can't do that for a level of accuracy at long distances because of the curvature of the Earth. So I have to use a sextant, and this is a nautical device created by mariners because of
the curvature of the Earth. Yeah. It's like if you hand a laser and you shine it, it's not going to shine on my hand.
Well, you have a lot of things happening there, though. There's laser's going to operate through line of sight, but you also have refraction, right? So a lot of people claim that the Earth is flat because the ship you could see the ship or you could see the light and it hits the target. Well, you also have the refraction of the light. The light is bending.
Right.
Light bends in a gravitational field. Not only that, as light is refracted, light is absorbed, light is reflected off of different barometrics in the atmosphere. There's so many variations.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
have
you seen the sundog? That whole phenomenon, what the sundog phenomenon is?
No, it's a sundog.
It's when there's like two suns or three suns. It's like the sun reflects off of crystals in the air or whatever, and it looks like there's two freaking suns. It's amazing.
So I actually have a painting in my room.
I think that's
upstairs.
what it's called.
Have you ever seen those paintings? They're like 3 strips and then they're each strip. You put them together and it makes one big painting.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine is like this dock that goes out into the blue crystal ocean, and there's the sun setting.
Okay.
But you have the sunset on the horizon, and then you have the sun sitting up in the sky. And the sun is behind clouds, and the clouds are all orange, but the sun is setting. So there's two suns.
How is it behind the clouds? Yeah.
But it's time-lapse photography is how they did it. And they just didn't realize that they should have deleted that aspect of it.
Check it out. This is different. I just sent it to you in the chat. This is more like there's a firmament type of thing. And they say that this is a result of crystals or water molecules in the air where it's frozen.
Oh, I've seen this.
Looks like that's called a sun.
Yeah.
I think it's called a sundog.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
What is that? That looks crazy.
It's just refraction of different water particles and ice crystals. You get this around the moon all the time. The halos around the moon.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah.
Look up suns.
Looks like an eye.
Look up. How about this? Have you ever seen the green flash during the sunset? Very rare. I've seen it 3 times.
It's just like an aurora borealis, essentially, kind of.
No, it's just a green flash of light. Type in sunset green flash.
I see it. I see the pictures of it. Yeah.
Yep, right there.
Holy shit! It looks like an alien. Oh, it looks like kind of like a UFO.
Now, do you know why that happens?
Because of UFOs now.
Now, how about this? You know what a prism is, right? You shine light in a prism, and it separates the spectrum of white light, correct?
It's just the green one, right?
Okay. Now, in order for that to happen, guess what angle the sun has to be at?
45 degrees?
Huh?
45 degrees?
Yeah, it has to be down, below the horizon.
So it's like a rainbow. You're just seeing the green part, right?
There you go.
Actually makes sense because you see all the other parts. You'll see all the other colors.
There's actually there's a level of atmospheric diffraction that occurs at that point. So you have to have a certain amount of moisture and water particles, crystalline particles, and a certain level of barometric pressure in order for that to happen. Typically, it happens on the ocean. Is when you're going to see it because there's always those types of water crystals in the air. And so I've seen it 3 times in the Navy.
How many sunsets have you seen over the ocean? Countless.
6,000, 12, 18, 24 months worth. I watched the sun. That was one thing that I did every day. Sunset.
I mean, I would too if I was on a boat. Yeah, of
I'll
course.
tell you, it's you know, for anybody out there who has not been on the ocean, do it. It's something you have to experience in your life. What I mean by that is go on a big boat
I love cruises.
and just go out for a while and
Good, yeah.
experience the peaceful serenity of the ocean at night, a calm ocean, away from all the stars, away from all the lights of civilization. And you will just be blown away by silence,
One of my favorite things to do.
by
Yeah.
ambience, by the beauty of nature, by the hearing of the one lone fish jumping in the completely crystalline still water that is reflecting the stars out of the sky because there's no moon because it's a new moon.
That I've never seen. That's
By the way,
amazing.
have flat earthers ever described the new moon? How one day a month, every 28 days, there's no moon in the sky?
I think I don't know. I don't really ask them anymore. I asked the first time like why,
Yeah.
like what you said, like what's the reason behind it. And when somebody said the devil, I was like, all right, we're done here.
So Shane asked, we discussing the life of Nelson Mandela? Well, we were discussing the Mandela effect, and we went through the 3 different possible scenarios of what I believe they might be. A lot of people out there believe it is the CERN phenomena. I just can't jump on board with that one. That one seems too chaotic, entropic, and too what is the word I'm looking for?
Far-fetched.
Not far-fetched, but it seems like if they did something like that, the world would be in way more turmoil than it actually is.
I agree too. Yeah. The one thing I'm going to take away from today is that I misspoke when I said that it's just us and our memories, because now that I think about it a little bit more, it's the coincidence thing, it gets me, because I don't like to believe in coincidence, and this would be me being a hypocrite and saying that this is just a coincidence, So I'm not. I agree. There's something definitely going on here. I don't know what it is, but I hope we're going to end up on top of it.
I agree, man.
Come
I
out
think
on top.
That,
Champions of the world.
of the world.
He says it 100%. I just heard it. I don't know. Why doesn't it air? That's weird. Because YouTube won't air like music.
Yeah, because it's copyright.
All right. Well, it is what it is.
And for all of those who are new out here, who are just joining us, if you look right there in the middle of the screen, you're going to see redpills.tv. That is our channel that has news, media, information. We have, 5 or 6 different shows right now. We have many more coming up. We have Daily Dose. We have Conversations on the Fringe. Tomorrow, Robert Wagner, the world expert on lucid dreaming, is going to be on Conversations on the Fringe. It's going to be an amazing show. Do not miss that. 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find it at that address right there with this. Just go like this. Boom. Done. Redpills.tv/live, and you will find us tomorrow live with Robert Wagner. It's also going to be on this YouTube channel, so please subscribe. Don't forget to like, comment, hit that bell notification button.
Please, thank you.
We got a lot of good shows coming up. We got a lot of good content. Hit us up over at redpills.tv. That's our primary website. Make sure you subscribe, get updated, informed, and keep up to date with everything we go on. This was a fun conversation. I had a great time.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. I learned a lot, which is the most important thing for me. Yeah, it's good. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you all get some sleep. Take care. God bless. Be well. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Night.